The evidence is very clear that a great working environment is directly linked to better productivity, happier staff and even bigger company profits. Just ask the tech giants like Google, Apple and our partner in Sky News real estate REA Group, who lead the trend of collaborative hubs, ping pong tables and rooftop veggie patches. Architecture and design firm Futurespace is at the forefront of modern workplace design in Australia and counts bigwigs like REA, Google and Microsoft as clients. Quite an impressive list. And Angela Ferguson, the Managing Director of Futurespace, joins us now to show us through some offices that make it a joy to go to work. Angela, thank you so much for coming on the show.
These and please don't leave till you redesign our place. Absolutely. Can we keep you here?
Oh, these are just incredible, what you've done with some of these offices. We thought we'd start with the REA Group because that's a very recent one, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
So just tell us a little bit about what the brief was and what you've come up with here.
Well, the brief for REA was all about aligning the way they work with the workplace. So REA is, one of the first online classifieds businesses in the world. They started around the same time as Craigslist in around 1995, and so it's really important for them to stay ahead of their game and keep innovating and keep coming up with new ideas and new products. Yeah. So the workplace is a really innovative space where people can keep coming up with these new ideas and keep helping them stay ahead of the market.
In all, I would imagine these days, especially with your client list, in every event, your work is to combine that physical environment, technology and people. It's finding that blend, isn't it? Yeah. So you don't want to lose the humanity, but you want to look cool and high-tech. Is that the greatest challenge, to blend those elements?
Yeah, I think the greatest challenge is making sure that you address those three things equally. So you can't just do something that's about people, you've got to have great technology to back that up. Yeah. And then obviously the design has got to be a really important part of it as well. So those three things, we always talk about addressing them equally so that the workplace meets all the needs of that business.
I just love how there's, you don't see any wires or computers or...
We like to hide that stuff.
Yeah. No, it's great. Absolutely. I think we've got What If now as well coming up in just a minute as well that we wanted to ask you about too. What was the brief for this one? Because obviously the building itself is so beautiful too, isn't it?
It's a beautiful heritage listed building. And so with What If, so they're a really young, interesting, fun company, and the building that they'd been in previously was a really kind of bland corporate office space. So they wanted something that talked to how unique they were as a business. Wow. They had a lot of trouble with keeping their staff. They were losing a lot of people to Facebook and Google, and the old workplace didn't really say much about all of those things that they do in terms of exploration and travel and, how young and energetic the business is. So that was a really important part of their brief.
Well, that's such an important part of business, is retaining people.
Yes.
You want to keep people. You spend all that money training them, getting them up, getting their contacts going, and then they go, I really hate this place.
Yeah.
I'm too depressed to come to work.
Excited about it.
You lose them.
Is it their concrete evidence to show that a better workplace or a more exciting, innovative type of workplace will keep staff, retain staff?
Yes, definitely. So we do... that's one of the biggest challenges for most businesses today is designing a workplace that's going to, keep their existing staff, make them, sort of engaged and happy and productive, but then also attract new staff because there's that big war for talent. So everything we do is about, that designing a workplace that's for the people and is about the people in the workplace.
You have got all the top names.
Yes.
You have got all the top names. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in competition with you guys. What is it? Why is it that you're so fantastic? What is it you're...
Yeah, I think at Futurespace we really believe that people are the product of their environment. Yeah. So everything we do is kind of geared towards that. So it's we're passionate about workplace. Yeah. It seems like a strange thing to be passionate about, but we do spend a lot of time at work. We spend a third of our lives at work, so it is really important.
This room we're looking at is just nuts.
Yes.
This is the Google.
Yeah, so the Google office, so that upside-down room that you saw, the goal with that was, because it was Australia Down Under, the goal with that was that we would video conference into Ireland and to California and then invert the screen. So it looked like the guys down under were walking in on the ceiling.
Brilliant. Isn't that a classic?
Yeah.
Do they just love it?
Oh, they do. They do. So Google's all about play. And a lot of businesses recognise that play is a really important part of work because it activates different parts of your brain. And so innovation is a key goal for a lot of businesses. So if they can provide these areas for play, what that means is that people are using a different part of their brain. They're switching on different transmitters and paths in their brain. So that then leads to, you know, new ideas, new products. And so it's a very important part of work, is this idea of play.
Really justifies going that extra mile.
Absolutely. Yes.
And do people use the tyre swing?
All the time.
Fantastic, that's great. So what room is that one with the parrot?
The parrot is a jungle room. So Google, we had, because it was a really big workplace, so they had lots of different built environments that were a destination. So each destination had a different theme. So we had the Australiana theme.
Oh, this is the upside
down room. We had the underwater theme. We had a jungle theme. So we had lots of different themes. This is the underwater theme. So we had lots of different themes that were all about this idea of play.
Textures as well. Really exciting range of textures.
And this was really sustainable too, so it was really important that it was a healthy place to work too, so lots of sustainable products and materials and furniture and good air quality.
And the booths.
So they're based on, so the cafe is called the Surf Club, and the cafe has a really good view of the harbour and the bridge, and that was based around the Brighton bathing boxes. You know, So it's just a really fun space for people to have their lunch.
Do you think it's a reaction too also to the hours that we spend at work now?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we know our research at Futurespace has shown us that people spend more time at work than they do any other leisure activity, including sleeping. So I know I work more than I sleep. So it's really important that the workplace supports a lot of the things that we need during the day at work.
Yeah. I know we've got another of your projects. This one was for Microsoft as well. So just, talk us through what you've done.
So Microsoft, so the big thing for them is about community. So Pip Marlowe, who's the MD of Microsoft, so she talks a lot about how work is a thing that you do, not a place that you go. So we really worked with them to help them redefine what that place that they go to means for Microsoft. So for them, it's all about community. So when you come into the workplace, you need to be with your colleagues, you need to collaborate, you need lots of different spaces to be able to do this. And so everything in here is designed towards creating this amazing community where the Microsoft team can come together.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it?
Oh, it just is. I mean, I know obviously the tech companies are at the forefront of this, aren't they?
Yes.
But I mean, what do you say to perhaps more traditional industries who would say, oh, isn't it just an excuse, you know, I'll find my employee asleep in one of the collaborative lounges or something like that? You know, what do you sort of say to them to convince them?
That does come up, but what's happening is a lot of those traditional professional services firms, they're in the same situation in terms of the war for talent and this goal of attracting and retaining staff. So they've realised that they really need to lift their game when it comes to designing workplaces for people. A lot of property companies and the big banks are already there, so they've designed some amazing workplaces as well. So other sectors are really starting to realise that the tech companies have got it right, and so they can adopt some of those ideas.
But smaller companies can
definitely
put some work in it.
Smaller companies, I think, probably have a bit more leeway as well because they don't have so many internal systems and processes to get approvals through.
Yeah.
So they've got a bit more flexibility.
Just looking at the MYOB next as well. So what was the idea here?
So MYOB, the really key thing for them was about innovation. So their headquarters is out in a suburban part of Melbourne, so out in Glen Waverley. And their engineers and developers, they're actually finding it a struggle being out there because they were so far removed from the tech community. Yeah. So they made a really conscious decision to move that tech group and the software and engineer developers, move them into Richmond. They've got some health and wellbeing was really important to them, so they've got great end-of-trip facilities. A lot of people ride their bikes to work.
Yeah.
So tech guys are actually, healthier than they're not sitting up all night eating pizza.
Yeah.
But so everything was geared towards innovation, and the space that they went into was a warehouse space, and that was a really important goal as well because there's this understanding that if you house people in a different type of environment, it promotes a different way of thinking. So if you're gearing towards innovation and you design an environment that has some different types of spaces, it really promotes these new paths of thinking and then leads towards more innovation in the business.
You sound more of a psychologist
Oh, it's
than a
fantastic.
designer.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, a lot of what we do is about psychology. It's about
Yeah.
understanding people, how they
Yeah.
behave.
Yeah.
That's a big, important part of what we do.
Getting the most out of them. Just one quick question. With all the hot desking that goes with, you know, these sort of modern types of offices, what do you do with all the, you know, the people's stuff? You know, that do what, how do you sorry, it's
We
not
share a
put very
drawer, about
eloquently.
6 of us.
Hey,
Must be a big draw.
Hey, what do you do in terms of that when you're thinking of layout? And
Yeah,
it's probably a bit of a
so-
boring practical question.
No, that's okay. So we do lockers, but they're not your traditional gym locker. They're a much bigger type of locker, and they'll be located in a home zone or a neighbourhood. So people still have a home, even if they're in a workplace that is about free address and more choice and a variety of spaces. They still have a home base to go to. So, you know, we are kind of
Really
creatures of
interesting that you
habit.
would call it home. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're creatures of habit. We like our stuff. We like our personal belongings, you know, to be around us.
Like you belong.
Yeah. So the lockers are a really key part of making those types of spaces work.
Oh, yeah, just fantastic and so exciting to see what's being done as well. Thank you so much.
Sort of oddly unsettling.
Yeah.
But most of us don't work there.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
dream.
Lovely work.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Very
for having me.
exciting. Angela Ferguson there, Managing Director of Futurespace.